In words and phrases and paraphrases, people are constantly quoting the Bible all of the time because it's part and parcel of our Western culture. But yeah, a lot of people don't even realise it. So let's go and have a look. I will have his head on a platter. That's a reference to the beheading of John the Baptist in Matthew chapter 14. It's like the blind leading the blind. That's a reference to Jesus' words in Matthew 15. He was made a scapegoat. That's a reference to the Levitical scapegoat in Leviticus 16. O ye of little faith. Yet again, a reference to Jesus' words, this time in Matthew chapter 6. A wolf in sheep's clothing. Again, a reference to Jesus' words, this time in Matthew chapter 7. I wash my hands of them. A reference to Jesus' trial under Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor of Judea, when he literally did wash his hands to say that he didn't want anything to do with it. When someone says that someone is the salt of the earth, a reference to Jesus' words in Matthew chapter 5. When someone says it's not written in stone or it is written in stone, that's a reference to the stone tablets that were given to Moses in Exodus chapter 31 that were indeed written in stone by the hand of God. Turn the other cheek. More reference to Jesus' words, this time in Matthew chapter 5. The love of money is the root of all evil. Now this one's often misquoted because it is actually the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. The root of all evil is sin. And that verse comes from 1 Timothy 5:10. You reap what you sow. Comes from Galatians 6:7. The prodigal returns. Again, another quote from Jesus' words, this time from Luke chapter 15, with the parable of the prodigal son. Going on the straight and narrow. Jesus' words again, this time in Matthew chapter 7. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Again, more of Jesus' words, this time in Matthew chapter 5. Seek and ye shall find. Jesus' words again, Matthew chapter 7. A baptism of fire. Two possible biblical origins for this saying. One could be with Matthew chapter 3, with a reference to John the Baptist, or it could be a reference to Acts chapter 2, with the baptism of fire at Pentecost. He's had a Damascus Road experience. That's a reference to Saul when he was on the Damascus Road and he had a vision of Jesus and changed his ways in Acts chapter 9. He saw the light. Again, another possible reference to Saul on a Damascus Road in Acts chapter 9. It is better to give than receive. A reference to a recollection of Jesus' words in Acts chapter 20:35. Don't cast your pearls before swine. Jesus' words again in Matthew chapter 7. It's like feeding the 5,000. A reference to Matthew chapter 14, where Jesus performed a miracle by feeding 5,000 people with just a few small loaves and fishes. Let him who is without sin cast the first stone. A reference to Jesus' words in John chapter 8 with the woman caught in adultery. I don't know you from Adam. Most probably a reference to Adam, the first man, in the book of Genesis. Job's comforters, taken of course from the book of Job, often said in reference to people who were giving bad advice to others. Going the extra mile. Matthew chapter 5. By the skin of your teeth. That's from the book of Job, chapter 19 and verse 20. So there you have it, folks. The Bible is intertwined in our speech, in our Western culture, and it is reflected in the fact that so many people use the Bible in their everyday speech. They don't even realise it. That's how ingrained it is. If you know of any more, I've probably missed a lot. There's probably loads more out there. If you know of any, drop them in the comments. I would really love to hear them.